welcome back to another episode of Two Coaches, One Conversation. I'm Coach Sheldon, and as you can see, there's no Coach Will today, but he is here. You hear you back there? He back there. He running the camera today, so we got a special show for you today. We decided to get some more guests on the show because it actually turned out pretty well the last time we had a featured guest on the show with Coach Brewer. So today we want to welcome Keelan Downs,
class of 2018 Harker Heights graduate.
I hear you, and then
Marvin House. How everybody doing out there?
Okay, and we wanted to bring on more people that have advice on youth sports, that play youth sports, or coached it, or even ref it, as we're gonna get into a little bit later. So go ahead, Coach Marvin. Go ahead and kind of introduce yourself. Let everybody know kind of your background as far as this thing, and then we'll get to you, Keelan.
Okay. Marvin Downs. I'm Keelan's dad. I coach at every level, to include the Boys and Girls Club, AAU. I coached in the Adidas circuit for a while. I ran my own program. I also coached with Coach Thomas Brewer with Dynasty. I worked with Coach Will and Coach Sheldon as well. Very experienced. I'm also a official. I officiate basketball. I officiate football at every level. So I'm very well diverse on both sides of the ball.
Okay. And Keelan, give us a little bit of your background right now.
Yeah, I'm Keelan Downs. I graduated from Harker Heights, played basketball there for 3 years. I ended up playing college basketball briefly for a year at Ave Maria University in Southwest Florida. I'm just here to give some info and give some advice and some opinions.
All right. So, Coach Marvin, tell me, why coach youth sports? What kind of drew you in the beginning, and tell people how long you've been actually doing it.
Well, what drew me in was Coach Will, actually.
Always that guy. His name always coming up.
That guy right there. When he comes to my house and basically beats my door down, I say, "Look here, dude." But you know, it was a good thing because I've always been around the game and refereeing, and he seen something in me at that time that I didn't see myself. You know, and that's what true friends do. They tell you what you could be better at.
Right.
You know, if you really afraid, you accept it, you take it around with it. So we built that relationship. We had already had a relationship, but it was actually built stronger through sports.
Okay.
Got into the youth because that's why I started my platform, and to actually learn the game on a different side of the ball, because I was really officiating. And with the youth, I think it's where everybody should start at, because anybody can coach, but can anybody train? The youth need to be trained.
Right.
The kids can be coached at the higher level.
Okay.
So that's why I started out at. And it's kind of like ex-military guy, which I am. Crawl, walk, run. So when you get the youth phase, the little kid phase, you're in the crawl phase.
Right. So Keelan, being that your dad was into youth sports, what sports did you play coming up, and then what kind of drew you in to kind of settle on basketball?
Okay, so coming up, I played soccer briefly, had a stint in football, being that I live in Florida and Texas, you know, heavy sport. And then basketball, I would say what drew me into basketball was just, I kind of grew into a frame where I could see, like, people telling me, yeah, you're going to be about 6'4", 6'5", and, like, I knew basketball was my love, because that's the sport I've known since I can remember, like, that was a sport that I just knew I felt most comfortable in, the one I knew I could push myself hardest in, and the one I just felt that I feel like could take me to another place. So that's why when I got to high school, freshman year, I completely shut down all other sports and just fully was basketball 12 months out the year, excuse me.
Okay. So when did your dad start to step in and kind of help with the process? And tell me, like, how was that coming up as a kid, having your dad coaching the ups and downs of that?
I remember, we start with football. I remember football, like, you know, I could do a little stuff, like I didn't have the full, the full knowledge and the full skill set, but I just knew I could just run and go catch a ball. So that's why I started, and it kind of could have went somewhere, but then basketball, you know, I had been getting trained for ages, like, you know, that was my point. Like, I was back in Florida, me and my cousin, we signed up on a youth basketball team late. We didn't even have jerseys. They just gave us a t-shirt with the color. And they said, we playing for a team that had, like, no talent whatsoever. And I remember a coach coming out the stands. I never met this guy. He coming up, hey, how are y'all doing? I'm Coach Curtis, and I like the way you and your cousin play. Would y'all be interested in coming and training with me? and he was coaching like an 8th grade team. Meanwhile, we in the 5th grade.
Right.
So like that's when I kind of knew, you know, I could go somewhere with it. And then I was going to UT camps as a kid, you know, getting knowledge, meeting the players and stuff. So with that, my dad started coaching me when I got to the 6th grade, and since then, he was just pushing me throughout all the way up. Like Coach Will even to tell you, it be times people telling him, "Hey, you gotta let him go. Like, you know, like, you gotta chill. You hard. Like, man, we don't have time. We almost get into fights and stuff in practice, you know. But like, it made me stronger in a way that when I had been coached by other coaches, I hadn't been affected by language or anything. Like, because nobody really do worse than what he did. Like,
So
the word, like, I'm
so
serious.
he prepped you basically for what was gonna happen.
And you know what? I look back at it now, and I can't thank him enough, because it's been so many situations where I could just mentally shut down, checked out, done, you know, because of something somebody might have said, something I messed up or something. But he's built a mental strength in me to where I can endure
anything.
Yeah, and it pushed me through.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so back to you, Marvin. So we're coaching youth sports now. Tell us about what it's like to start your own program from scratch, build it up, and then make it what you want it to be.
Oh my God.
And in the easiest context you can. In the easiest context.
First of all, you have to have dedication. And once again, I give that credit to Coach Will. He helped me out a lot with that, because I leaned on him a lot, because he already had an up and running program.
Right.
Granted, his was girls and I was boys. You know, similar, but you know, in certain things, but the bases are totally similar. Just as you get, you know, the tournament's a little bit different. But he actually helped me get it lined up, set everything up, and he actually helped me look at kids as well.
Okay.
You know, send me some kids, and you know, one thing he always told me was that you don't want a kid who can't be coached.
Okay.
And one thing I do back here, he told me, he said, "Man, let me tell you something. Before you recruit that kid, stand and look at that parent.
Okay.
Because the parents will destroy your organization." And he was exactly right. And I passed that information on to guys right now that's doing now.
Okay.
But it's a lot of work, and you have to be very detailed. Me being ex-military, you know, staff, that's how I pretty much read it like a military operation. You got to put certain people in certain places, because you're not, as coach, you're not going to be able to sit there and monitor every aspect of the organization. But that's where you have trustworthy people, and get your parents involved in it, because the parents should be a part of the kid's life through this process as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if there are other questions from other parents, you have a parent right there that can curtail that and deal with it, where you can focus on the kids. So yeah.
Okay. And Dylan, you kind of went into what I was going to ask next about parents. No, that's fine. Tell someone out there exactly how can a parent hurt or help a program when you're actually getting into it. What are some of the things that you've had to like phase out in order to gain control of your program?
I was lucky. I studied parents, and that was, like I say, when I dealt with the kid, I talked to the parent initially, and I sit there and watch and talk to them.
Right. Because
if you go to a game and you see a kid out there playing ball, they may be doing right or wrong, but the parent's sitting there just taking it all in and not trying to show the officials or the organization that's the parent that you want. Because just like you're coaching that kid, you have to go to coach that parent as well. Because one thing I learned with my son when he's going to those camps that Rick Barnes told him, you can have the most talent in the world.
Right.
However, if you have a bad attitude, or if your parent has messed it up for you, you're not coming to my university.
Right.
So that should translate to travel ball, because remember, the ultimate goal is to get these kids in college for higher education and athletic scholarship.
Right.
And you can't market a kid to this organization if the parent is terrible.
Right.
Okay? Because if you do, for instance, I'm gonna say an example. If I send my son to Texas, he's an idiot. Okay? What about the next kid that I'm gonna try to get in there?
Right.
I just spoiled it for everybody else.
That kills the pipeline.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off that, this week I did see a posting, a text coach about it, and about parent basically ruining the kid's chances because they're pretty much recruiting the entire thing because they know that's what's going to come along. That kid acts up. Can they trust to call that parent at home and get the same backing, or is it going to be the backing of the kid's action? So yes, everything kind of plays into.
Yeah, you have to have self-discipline in the kid and the parent. You know, I remember the story. My son called me. We was down in Florida playing. He said, "Dad, we went cross country and played. We got beat, and the coach told us that we got practice at in the next 2 hours, and we just got back."
Right.
He said, "Some guys didn't show up."
Right.
And they pulled his scholarship.
So, and going off on their scholarships, talk about, and this is going to be a question for you too to answer in as well, because it is a part of you. So, talk about your journey to figure out how the recruitment process worked with getting players into school, and talk about your own journey as far as recruiting and how that worked for you.
First, the journey going to school. Well, first, I'm gonna say make sure that you take care of the stuff you can take care of, which is your grades, your SATs, your college acceptance, that stuff. That is the first stuff you need to take care of immediately, because coach are gonna ask, grades, what's your SAT score, because it's above them at that point if you can get even admitted to the school if you don't have the right academics. So then that's step one. Step two is trying to find that right fit for you, because everyone, as kids, we all dream of going and playing for these major D1 powerhouses. Like, my favorite school growing up was University of Texas. And, that was my dream to go there. But, sometimes, hey, we can't all go there. A basketball roster, at most, is going to have maybe 13, 14 players. And only about 6 or 7 or 8 will really see a rotation in the season. So, you know what I mean? So, be comfortable with, it's okay to go the NAIA route. It's okay to go to the JUCO route. It's okay to go to smaller levels, because at the end of the day, the percentage of us making the NBA is not very great. So you have to go somewhere too where it's gonna further you in life, where it can set you up for success in the real world. You know what I mean? Because basketball eventually one day is gonna stop bouncing for us all, and we're gonna have to do something to provide for our families and create, something to live off of. So with my recruitment, I remember, after high school, I didn't have, at first, when the season first ended, I hadn't really been talking to schools. So then I started reaching out via email to some schools, and I started getting some responses and stuff. And I took a couple visits. I took one to Tabor College in Kansas, and I took one to the school I ended up going to, which was Armory University. Tabor College, it felt good. It was a good home environment. I'd never been to Kansas before, so it was kind of different. It was kind of a little culture shock because, growing up Texas, you know how stuff is. Yeah. Kansas is Midwestern, they still doing, older stuff. So it was a good experience. I liked it and I enjoyed it. Right. And it was definitely eye-opening because it was an overnight trip too. I stayed with a fellow player on the team. So it was good, full experience. The reason I ended up choosing the school in Florida is just I just felt more comfortable there at the time. I had ties to Florida. It just felt like that place for home, because at the end of the day, it's about you. People can suggest where you want to go, tell you, oh yeah, you got this offer, go here and that, but at the end of the day, they can't live that life for you. You have to go where you feel comfortable. And then I had a great connection with my coach down there too, which is really what drew me in, because he's a player's coach, he directly related to us, and it was I just felt at home at that school, so that's why I ended up choosing there.
Kind of as Kevin already said, first thing is your education and your grades, because if you don't have the right grades, you're not going to college anyway. To be quite honest with you, you have all the talent in the world. So just like you do the work of the coach, you got to do the work in the classroom. Right. Okay. Now your SAT's the next thing, because your SAT would dictate where you go to school at. Right. Okay. And the best advice I tell everybody, I tell my son, go where they want you, not where they want you, not where you want to go. Right. That's what I think. Because if they want you there, they're gonna work with you to get you to where you want to go. Right. Okay. If you want to go where you want to go, say for instance, TCU. If you have aspiration to go to TCU, and they say, yeah, we get a scholarship, but they probably offer 20 more scholarships as well. Right. Okay. So you are few and far. You're on thin ice. However, if you go where they want you, they're more willing to get you where they need you to be. But you got to do your part as well.
So, do you feel like your recruitment was more it was more you doing it, or did your high school have any effect on it? Did your play in high school? Did your summer ball have any effect on it? How do you think you controlled it?
Well, I had basically, essentially, I did my recruitment myself. Like, I took the initiative to reach out to schools, because at first, after high school, I was like, I'm gonna be done with basketball and stuff. But then I started reaching out to some schools, started getting some interest, and some schools calling like daily and texting daily, and that's what kind of made me feel the love and knew that I could continue to advance to another level. So then I condensed a clip of my high school highlights my senior year, because that's the most BT I had and stuff like that, and that's how I just been sending it out, and that's how I ended up getting connected. I just had a target list because I knew at the time I have some deficiencies in my game. I'm not scared to admit it. And I knew I need to go somewhere I could develop somewhere, that I'm not just going. I don't want to go and just be a person that travels with the team. I'm not gonna take my warm up off or nothing like that. I want to go somewhere else to play. So I emailed schools that was within my playing range, like NAIA, D3, JUCO schools. That's how I took my recruitment from there.
Like I said, he did do a lot of recruiting. I assisted and guided him. I didn't do it all for him because I wanted him to be a part of the process. And one thing, like I told my son, is that I want you to learn as well. If I do everything for you, you're not going to learn. That's number one. As far as the high school, no, they don't do nothing. And I'm just being quite honest with you. You have, let me see, about 5 major high schools here, 6A ball. And it's kind of, and I hate to put this out there, but I am. It's kind of sad when you take a kid on a recruiting, a college visit, and the coaches look at their film. They look at his film, other film. He said these high schools run the same system, which is non-existent. And I said, really? He said, yeah. Now he said, I'm gonna tell you something, Dad. He said high schools run it because they are not very skilled themselves as coaches. They run with the comfortable way, which hurts the kids. So the offense they're running, it went out in the 80s. So what we help hurt our kids. And that's what he said. He also says, I'm gonna be honest with you. They have the athletes down there in your location, but they don't have the coaching ability because they're homegrown. He also went to the fact said it's a black hole down there. And I can distinctly remember my AAU program. We went to a tournament and we got beat in a championship game. And I was talking to the director because he was talking to me about the Adidas stuff also. He said, Coach, why are you upset? I said, because I don't train my kids to lose. I train them for skill and I train them to win because they need to have that mentality. And his reply was that most teams from your area don't do this well. Are you upset? I said, well, most teams in this area don't have our mentality. I said, travel ball mentality is totally different than school ball. If you look at the surrounding areas, everybody's winning with our players but us.
So what would you say is the need, or what would you say is the responsibility of the area or the district to hold these coaches accountable for not putting together the effort, not even running, but the effort to have programs or kids develop when they come through their program and give them the ability to go out and compete and stay. What needs to be done?
Okay, I got it. Go ahead. Well, first, I'm gonna just say it like this: it's so many people that, everybody knows that Keelan is associated with Fort Hood. So you have about 45,000 troops base heads?
46,000.
Yeah, some give or take. So that, just say everyone had one child that, is gonna play. And that's give or take. There's families, with multiple kids. So you don't have abundant time, some talent that's gonna come through. Like you look at Elliston right now, all the military kids that just that it makes sense. So, you know, for us to have the athletes down here that just go unnoticed, it's kind of sad to see, because this if you ask me, Central Texas is one of the most slept on recruiting regions because we have talent, we have the players in sports that can go and compete at these schools, but it just I think the biggest problem is a lot of us go unnoticed. I'll never forget that when I went to the Tabor College, you know, matter of fact, I'll put it out there, I had a teammate that I showed his film, he's like, whoa, I want to get in contact with this kid now. I don't know about him. And that's just one coach, and that's in Kansas. And to think that how big the United States is, it's hard to say how many more opportunities have been missed out just because we haven't had anybody to reach out on our behalf. Because if it wasn't for Coach Will, these other coaches that I've been associated with my father that knew, had connections and tell me how to get in contact with Coach, they never knew, because I've never been we never been taught reaching out. We never had coaches reach out on our behalf at the high school level. So I just feel that the coaches themselves, you have players, you know what I mean, that you should be marketing, you know what I mean, not everybody, but there's players you should definitely market, especially you consider your coach that you played somewhere. I know you have coaching connections elsewhere that you can take and talk to people and try to get around, because I'll put it out there also, I've been trying to get back on another roster and talking to other coaches, and I just reached out to a D2 just for walk on spot. He told me personally, he said, your game, you know, you need to develop on the perimeter, but if you need help finding somewhere to land, just let me know. I can help you out. And that's a D2 coach that don't even know me personally. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
the deal is right here too, though. You gotta think about it. The coaches, as I said, travel coaches are going traveling there to reach out to these coaches, get these kids in college, right? But who high school coaches reaching out to? Who's training them?
Right.
I'm gonna say this off camera. I hope it shows up on the mic. But the high school coaches are comfortable in their job, because you just mentioned Ellison. There's no reason that coaches shouldn't be reaching out to Coach Jones saying, "Hey, college coaches, hey, we want to hire you. Hey, you're developing great talent."
You see, Ellison done had teams for years.
For years.
Years.
And Shoemaker coach, he built that program up, then he got out of it. But you still got Keelan, Heights, and Ellison. Everybody falling to Ellison because they got a coach over there, but you overstacked with talent over there. When these kids are zoned to go to Heights and Shoemaker, they zone to go to Keelan. But the coaching system is trash. I see it because I'm a grown ass man. Second thing, you was talking about reaching out. They don't care to reach out to coaches because it's out their comfort zone. That's why this area is overlooked, because nobody wants to go and do what the hell they gotta do for the kids. We all about the kids. You was at the meeting, I almost killed a ton of people, and somebody yelled at me talking about, come look at my office. I'm like, I don't give a damn about what's in your office. You didn't get those kids those scholarships. Your dad actually saved somebody's life that day.
You know another thing, I don't know, I can't say yay or nay, but I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. How many coaches actually visit coaching clinics throughout the year? That's where they build their doggone networking, you know, to get these kids in college.
And how many go same on the girl side? How many go to these live events with the AAU coaches, with their players that's playing? You there as a spectator, you can talk to college coaches.
You know, I'm gonna tell you a sad story. Me being a referee, as well, I officiated a local high school game. I called a traveling violation on a player. Okay? The coach said, "How can you call that? She gets 4 steps." And I'm like, huh? You know?
We stopped the musical now.
4 steps. and this is at the varsity level. So I'm like, nah, coach. So we had a foul call, and I said, "Coach, you don't get no 4 steps." She said, "Really?" I said, "Are you a coach?" She said, "No, I'm a science teacher. I do it for the additional siphons." So now you're hurting the kids because you're teaching them the wrong thing. Okay, so the kid takes 4 steps, what we call a violation. Now we're wrong. Right. But this is what you're teaching them. So when they go to college, they don't have the basic knowledge.
Right.
You know, that's crazy. But you are just worried about the additional money, but you're hurting the kids in the process. So if I was in charge of KISD, I would fire the athletic director. Because every coach will be held to a standard.
Right.
Because what they don't realize is, though, the more you win, the more revenue you bring into my school.
Right.
Okay, then?
So what you're saying is, the assistant coaches that's sitting in the high schools
Yes.
should go down to the middle schools and be
Coach, to be
accountable
honest
for
with
either
you,
hire actual coaches.
you need to work your way up there. You don't need to be, it don't need to be given to you. Just like a kid got to work his way from 9th grade to varsity, a coach has to work his way from the middle school to the varsity. Okay? That's my thing right there. It's the good old boy system. And yes, that's what I believe.
Yes.
And if you don't win, and I understand you're not having a winning year every year, and I totally got that.
Right.
But let's look at percentages of what you put in college. Let's look at those percentages.
Right.
You know, you do things to help a kid. Say for the city get put in jail or whatever, but you won't do anything to help a kid progress in you know, their career.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, this area, like I said, has become so complacent with what is here, and they're afraid to go out and compete because they feel they have a disadvantages with the larger metropolitan areas. But if you put a mindset in the child that you can go out and run through anything that I put in front of you, they're gonna go out and compete. So when you're playing on, whether it's, I'm just gonna say the circuit, I'm just gonna say summer ball circuit, would you prefer to play the better competition, or were you out there chasing the medals and the trophies?
Well, when I played in my experience, my sophomore and my junior year on the Adidas circuit, it was very competitive. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the most competition I've ever played. And that time, I was more like, at first I'm not gonna lie, I came out the first game, was kind of scared, you know.
Right.
Got a couple buckets, but I was nervous. And then after a minute, I kind of sunk in that I could compete, I could play with these guys. So then it was just the mentality after that I was just wanting to play to better myself, you know what I mean? Because my team, we didn't really win too many games in it, which is, I mean, okay, but I was just out there trying to go as hard as I could to gain more competition and get better, because that competition I played then, I would say, was above the varsity level competition I was playing in high school at that time.
Right.
So I knew if I could go and compete against those guys, I could be able to translate to playing in District 12 6A and be able to play against the guys here and compete.
Right. And as a parent, when you know how much time that your son has put into the game, but then he gets back to his high school team and they don't even want to put him on the varsity team, and you know that he's probably better than 10 or 5 or 10 guys that's out there, but they've already decided what school or what team they're going to be on by the time before he even got there. How did that make you feel in that transition?
It was it wasn't about how I felt. It was about keeping confidence in my son.
Right.
He was on the Adidas circuit, and when we went out there, and like I told him, I coached him, and because I was a coach on the Adidas circuit, and I put him out there, and the way with that is, they asked me to come coach. I took actually 4 kids from here. That's the way I would buy from it, to give these kids opportunity, because the coaches want to do it. But what's so awkward, when we got up there, I think we were in Atlanta, I noticed we had some of the same kids from this area on all the teams. You know? But no,
Matter of fact, we played against one of my future teammates. He played for Texas D1 Ambassadors. We played in the game against each other.
yeah. But no coaches with that from here. So with that being said, like I had to tell my son, I said, dude, let me explain something to you.
Right.
This is not the high school ball. Because high school here, they build robots. They don't build players. They build robots.
Right.
And I said, this is not high school ball. You know, when you got John Calipari walking the stadium and just looking at kids, I said, they are here to see you play.
Yes.
Not see you here to be a participant. Just, okay? And it finally sunk into him that after the first game, he actually played with those kids. I said, who cares if you're here to be your confidence and enhance your skill. The second game, he did great. One of the nation's top players, he was scoring on, which was actually surprised me, right? But it was the confidence that was built into him, not only through me, but to his teammates and other kids. Now, when he go back to the high school ball, it's like, remember the Fresh Prince movie, Pass the Ball to Will? That's what it was like. you know.
So here's my question. Coach Gillespie is from the Queen area.
Billy Clyde Gillespie, yeah, I know that.
He's from well, he coached here.
Coach Elson High School.
Yeah.
When the last time you heard of him recruiting from here, even when he was at the JUCO level? Why doesn't he come back here to recruit? What does that say? You got homegrown, been coached on major D1 level.
Right, and don't circle it back around.
And circle back around.
And I heard his
He's
name
coming
being thrown in for a coaching job now.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
but
at,
he
he
got
got Tarleton.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, as soon as they went D1, he was like, I'm the guy.
Yeah, but he's not coming here to recruit. So what does that say about the mindset here? Because he left here, came back here,
Right.
left here again, and ain't recruited here.
Yeah.
So what does he see? What do you think he see as the reason that he don't want to come get athletes from here?
I think he sees kind of like what the coaching council that this is the black hole because of the fact that there's no support system. First of all, that's number one. With the support system, I'm gonna give you an example. Me and the assistant superintendent had a conversation. They would like to charge each organization X amount of money to use their facilities. Okay. I told him, I said, I don't understand why you want to charge the traveling teams to use the gymnasium or the football fields when you're getting already paid government assistance for them. He was like, what are you talking about? I said, let me explain something to you, sir. I worked in 3 Corps for 5 years on the staff level. You see a guy send impact aid for home every year to get a siphon for every military kid that's in your school system. All right? Then you charge the traveling teams another fee. Do you realize those same teams those same kids just fill the impact aid form out are the kids that on the traveling team? I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Gotta be somewhere though.
Okay. you tell a traveling team they need $1 million insurance to use the facility plus a fee. Now most of them have $1 million. From 99% of them have it. These stores charge them a fee, but every time there's a charge. But however, we don't even know where the money going. But yet you're charging for the impact. You're getting money for the impact aid form. You're charging for use facilities. Oh, by the way, you gotta have security. And then you gotta have a cleanup team there. Somebody can open and close the gym. And by the way, there's no lights. It's a small gym.
I think it was like almost $200 an hour when everything was total together.
Now, these travel teams are non-profit organizations. Think about that. So now when these kids out there trying to raise money to use the facility that you've already been paid for, who is really hustling who?
Right.
But you care about the kids, you want them to do better.
That is a lie from the pits of hell. They do not care for the kids.
Exactly.
Because if they care for the kids, like even the football coaches in the middle school level, they don't have the support to develop kids. You got 2 coaches trying to coach 53 kids.
Yeah, 2 games. You doing 2 games? Like I'm like, how are you even knowing what you have? Yeah, and they flustered. They overwhelmed. You got parents in the stands yelling. They want. It's just too much.
Even I'm going to this way. Even with the football teams you see on Saturday morning, they charge those guys $1,000 a weekend for a rinky-dink field.
Yes.
They don't have they turn the scoreboard on, it's additional fee. They turn the lights on, it's additional fee.
You do not want to turn them lights on.
All games before 5 o'clock.
Exactly.
Yeah, all games off.
This is crazy. And that's why so many teams are actually moving out of the city.
Right.
But they don't understand it.
Yeah, it's a lot to have to do with city and our school system because the system is tainted and everybody wants to see what's in it for them. And yet our infrastructure is struggling and the youth are acting out and there's no support system to actually engage them. So what would be a good solution of trying to get everyone else together that has a thought and trying to get them on the same mindset? What's some of the thoughts you have on that?
Well, one thing is to get. I think one thing would be to get parents to get involved in the school board. They got to get into the system, because trust me, unless you're not knowledgeable what's going on, you don't know. You just drive through on a Saturday, see Coach Will out there in the gym. They don't know what he went through to get that gym, what it's costing him. But you know what's the kill's part about it? They seem like they're raising money, they want to ask questions, but they don't realize he's trying to raise and support these kids. That's what they don't realize.
And here's the other thing: the school board demographics does not reflect the community. And this is not a race thing. This is just what it is. You go into the superintendent's office and you see all the district members on the wall. I counted 8 black personnel, African American, however you want to say it politically correct. On the school board, there's 1. So there's a disconnect from the community too. Since we on the show today and we calling it out, let's call it out.
But this is what needs to happen.
What you had, Coach? Yeah, so go ahead.
I was just saying, we just need support. I think the community got to stop fighting against each other and fight for ourselves. I remember I'm on the Facebook page of a Texas football thing over, and you know what's funny? I looked one day and they were talking about the district realignment, how District 11 has to play District 12, right? They laughed at District 12 6A and said that's the laughing stock. That's easy first round. Our fourth seed gonna beat them, and that's just embarrassing. You know that these schools in Dallas and because that's the district we play against. They know that that's just basically a bye week for them before they play whoever they're gonna play in the next round. And I feel like we're better than that. Honestly, truly, we get maybe 1 or 2 teams that may go past the first round every year. Give or take. I think that if we come together, we all fight for each other. We get into this together and support each other. There's no way Keelan team shouldn't have at least one team that can really go and compete year in and year out in football, basketball, all sports. Because again, Fort Hood, we have an advantage that we're gonna get move-ins every June. We're gonna get some new kids. Somebody from somewhere is gonna pop up here that we ain't never seen before. That got untapped athletic ability that just you got blessed to have that we're not utilizing.
I read the same article he read. Dade County Magazine rated this area as the weakest district in the entire state of Texas.
Wow.
This area is rated as the weakest district in the entire state of Texas.
But it starts with mental toughness.
Yeah.
That's the other part. We don't need coaches, and it's not just coaches.
No, it's kids too.
It's the home status too, because I was watching a show the other day, and one of the coaches, Coach Bell, was talking about when you call somebody soft, you're not talking about physically soft, because these kids can get in the gym and lift the gym. They're mentally soft, they're emotionally soft.
Exactly.
And mom, dad, up there running to the coach's face, well, you said this to my son. Well, you damn right I said it to your son.
Exactly.
What you gonna do about it? You gonna pull him from the team? So what? Pull your kid. I only want strong-minded kids because you preparing them for life. But that softness, you got a real issue with soft kids.
I do.
And it ain't all on the coaches. It's on the, just like you say, parents need to get involved. That says that they're not involved either, because they're allowing their kids to be on the team to lose. Nobody's holding the coaches accountable. They can't even tell you when the school board meetings are. So it ain't just the coaches. The coaches. Hell, if you come to my house and eat all my food and I go buy groceries, and then I come back to the plane and you like, man, you keep eating all my groceries but I don't do nothing about it. What you gonna do? Keep eating my damn food.
The softness thing. You're right. I have a problem with soft kids, girls and boys. I wrote this kid. I write my daughter. Every kid that I coach wrote, girls and boys. But at the same time, though, I know they know that I do it out of love. Okay. Because when you go off to, like you said, college or whatever, they don't care about that softness stuff.
Right.
And also on the other note on that, a parent has to allow the kid to be coached. You have to allow your kid to be coached. Because when you get on the basketball court or football field and you just get elbows or you get pushed around or whatever, and the parent get upset, dude, best sit down. Let that kid become a man or a woman and grow up.
And lastly, what I'm gonna say is, I believe the stigma is that all these kids and parents are just happy to be on a varsity team. They are happy that they made a varsity team. They don't care if they play. They just want that stigma that I was on that team. When I was coming up, when I played in this district, which was a 5A at the time, we didn't lose a game. 4 years of high school, we didn't lose a game. We was feared in this state, in the state of Texas. semifinals or bust. I mean, that was the mantra. We got to get to that point. Now we can compete. Now we're ready to play. And if you couldn't play, you weren't going to be on that team. You had to go out there and earn that letterman. You had to go out there and earn that playing time. It was just about being on varsity. If you weren't on there, you were contributing in some kind of way. And I think it's just that the stigma is that, yes, we're on varsity, and then they have the stigma that since I'm on varsity, I'm playing varsity, that it's going to equate to me playing on the next level. That doesn't happen either. You can't, just because you're on varsity, you're not going to go play on the EYBL team. You just because you're on your school's varsity, your school varsity is trash, your coach is trash. So those are just the realities that have to set in for these kids in this area, and it's just like a big bubble, but somebody got to burst that bubble right here.
Well, it's going to start, once again, I think it all starts with that athletic director.
Yeah.
That's number one, because he hires and fires.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that athletic director, I would look at his qualifications.
Right.
Oh, we doing that? I mean, I'm just being honest with you. You know, so that's where it starts at. And like you just said, man, with those kids, I know about 2 or 3 teams right now. They're just so happy that the kids on varsity. But hell, you don't tell me your kid only won 2 games all year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, on varsity,
Right.
And they brag about it. You know, they got signs in the yard. Joe Snuffy lives here.
Right.
Joe Snuffy, Joe Snuffy won 2 games all year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
All right, so we're going to move away from that topic there because, it can go on and on and on about it. But, okay, so kind of getting back to what you're doing right now. So you mentioned earlier Syntax Dynasty, and you had the opportunity to go out there and help Tony Brewer out, coach Hunter. You had the opportunity to go and do a little bit there. So tell me, what was your thing with coaching girls? Like, it's something different for you. And for you, you got to go out there and coach. So tell them how it felt to give back finally. Okay.
Okay, it was a challenge. I called Will. I said, man, I don't know if I can do this. Right? Like, I'm a very hard-nosed coach. Very hard. And he knows this. You know, I'm not going to cut no corners. I'm very hard-nosed. Even my son said, Dad, I don't know if you can do this, right? So I took it as a challenge.
Right.
It was very humbling at first, the first year. Got with Coach Brewer, you know, and I had to realize that I was there for him. So I had to change my whole way, my whole philosophy. We did okay. We could have did a lot better. But, you know, Coach Brewer was dealing with some stuff where they would not allow him to coach the kids.
Okay.
They would not allow him to coach the kids. And Coach Brewer is a very good coach. Very hard-nosed coach. You know, he's probably the better side of me. So I had to come in and be the balance, you know, which was kind of hard for me because I had to get away from everything that had been instilled in me as coaching, change everything. We didn't do very well, so I told Coach Brewer this year, I said, man, let me tell you something, dude. I don't mind coming back to you and helping you out again. However, we got to make some changes. We got to get some dedicated kids and parents because it goes back to that. Yeah, they're on a traveling team, but are we really wasting our time? And we need some dedication. The kids have to be dedicated. I don't want to hear you not coming to practice because you want to go to a tennis match or a volleyball match or something like that. You know what I mean? We're not going to do that because it's not fair to the kids that show up. We got to be hard-nosed, set a standard, and we got to hold them accountable.
Right.
Some of the kids didn't come back. It is what it is. We got we have a new group of kids. I'm loving them to death.
Right.
Very excited. Very excited. So we're taking it and running with it.
For me to come in, I just felt like it felt good to get back because I remember having figures that came from outside and coming and talking to us, you know, and it just feels good to be in that position now, you know, that I'm out of high school and all that. I'm looked up as a grown man now. It just felt good because I felt like for me, I got to connect with the girls personally. Like I got to meet them, I built a relationship with them, and for them to look at me as a big brother, that's what it meant to me, you know. I was there mostly, you know, just to give them some advice, you know, mental stuff. I was there to help with skill development, and I was there also taking and learning myself the other side of the game rather than being a player. I got to watch it from a coaching perspective too. So, and then being with girls, you know, that the fact that it's different because I've been a boy, you know, I've seen stuff. I've encountered stuff that's way different than girls on the side of basketball. So it just felt really good to be that figure and to get to, I'm really excited for this season as well too. And if Corona, COVID-19 allows us. But it just, it let me see a different side of the game, and I definitely want to continue to keep advancing because I'm learning the game as well. You know, adding to my IQ, learning from other people, and getting different exposure, and also building connections as well on the female side rather than just the male side. Because then, you know, later on down the line, you never know what you can do to help somebody. So.
You know, one thing I will say is boys, girls, it's different because girls are more attentive to detail.
Right.
You know, boys, they think they know everything. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But when I tell her to look at your trap angles and where we're going, they're going to look at it and scan it, and they're going to go out. Guy, he already know he's just going to take off.
Yeah.
So it was adjustment for me as well. Like, hold on, these girls, you can't coach them. You can coach them, but you got to tailor a couple things different.
Yeah, girls like to overanalyze a lot of things.
Exactly.
What is this? What is that? And they try to do that at the same time, dribbling the ball, and you got to get them to just to react a little more. But yeah, it is a different pace of basketball. But it's all fun because you're helping youth, you're helping the community, and you're building relationships that's gonna last beyond basketball.
Exactly.
Yes.
So swinging back to you on your college career. All right, so talk about that moment, that welcome to basketball moment for school, and tell us about the adjustment period from practice to game and the speed of things and how you had to adjust.
So that first moment that hit me is, you know, we doing workouts, and it's on a weekend. You know, like we practiced on Saturdays in high school, but like basketball was a full 7 days. You're doing something 7 days worth of basketball. So that was kind of that intro to me. We did a SAM workout. Never forget, I thought I was gonna pass out. Like seriously, oh my goodness. We started doing those. We ended up changing those to 5 a.m. and then following that up with a pool workout. Then going straight to breakfast and class. And it all span of 3 hours at 8 a.m. It's crazy.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
Wow.
But definitely, the preparation for a game is way more attention to detail in college.
Right.
Like, you know, practices aren't just geared up. We're just gonna go and run these same sets we always run against every opponent, or like we did in high school. This practice, you're installing different stuff for different opponents. You're breaking down film. You know, like it's completely different.
Right.
And then practice also, we focus a lot on skill development as well too, which is a big aspect. Which is why a lot of coaches, I was talking to my coach about what he looks for in players and stuff. He says, I look for kids, who I feel like that didn't reach their peak, and that we could develop to fit and be successful here. It's not about trying to go get the best kid who is the best right now. We're trying to get kids that we know, okay, they're right here, but with a little training, weight room training, basketball skill work and stuff, they can be up here and they can be coachable as well. Okay. So that's why the college game, is way completely different from high school, and it's not for everybody, for sure.
One tip of advice that you would give to the guy or the gal that's aspiring to go play on the next level, what's one tip that you think they need that can be universally used when they get to school?
Okay. I think the biggest tip really is just to keep pushing through and don't give up. That's because there's gonna be so many times in college where, especially if you go to school away from home, something may go wrong, and then your quick reaction, I want to go home. I want to go where I'm comfortable. And in college, especially you recruited somewhere you ain't never been, you're coming out of your comfort zone, which is a big thing for a lot of players. It can make you or break you. You're gonna have practices, you're gonna have tutoring, you're gonna have class, you have so much. And then that's not to go along with the traveling that's required, the lack of sleep, it's a lot on the body. So I always feel like if you have love for it, you gotta push through. You can't give up. That's my biggest tip to them.
Okay. We're rounding out everything here. Marvin, what's in store for the future? How long you plan on keep going with, whether it's the reffing, just everything? How long you gonna let this thing keep going?
Well, actually, I thought I was done last year, to be honest with you. I don't know, cause one thing I do love coaching girls and boys. I do love giving back to the kids in the community. On the coaching and officiating side. So I'm just gonna push through till I can't push no more to it. Just like I was in the military, I may just wake up one day and say I'm done.
Okay. And And then lastly, I know that you're going to start a new journey to another school. What's the fit that you're looking for right now?
Right now, really, with school-wise, I'm just looking for somewhere I feel like it's home and I'm comfortable. Like I have a good connection with my coaches there. You know what I mean? My previous coach ended up leaving, going somewhere else, and that's kind of where the fall off happened. And now, I'm not, high school, they don't prepare you for the fact that, coaching is a business at the collegiate and professional levels. You know what I mean? It's still a business, and these people, they're in there to win games and they're in there to advance. And so, really, I'm just looking for somewhere I know I can go, be comfortable, be myself, get good coaching, grow as a person, and then, just excel and try to reach my best Keelan I could be. That's all I'm looking for.
Well, today was a very good topic. I think we kind of squeezed everything in there. Once again, if you're new to the channel, please hit that button, that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let YouTube know you like this type of content and exposure that we're giving. We like the feedback we've been getting, we like the views we've been getting. So keep coming back, keep watching. We're going to keep giving you what you want. Once again, I want to thank Keelan Downs for showing up today, Coach Marvin Downs as well, and Coach Will in the background spinning the camera. DJ. All right, that's our show today. Two coaches, one conversation. We out.
Later.
Peace.